Every second of every day, Chinese internet users engage in guerrilla warfare with government censors. Over the last decade, freedom of speech within the Great Firewall has gone from a polite Thanksgiving dinner to Nazi Germany, forcing Chinese internet users to dig up old characters or pair together English letters to refer to things as simple as the country or the Communist Party. Yet, despite their best efforts, the censors will inevitably crack the code and begin cleansing inappropriate comments. This is where the creativity of Chinese internet users, or Chinese netizens, really blossoms. Moving at nearly the same speed as the censors, Chinese internet users often resort to homophones or obscure English translations to not only continue their battle for self-expression, but also mock their censor overlords. In this series, we'll be diving deep into this virtual war for expression, uncovering a side of Chinese ideology not covered in major media. We'll also examine the insecurities of the Chinese Communist Party hidden deep within their censorship patterns. I'm LeLe Farley, and this is Banned Words in China. For today's video, I first take you back to December 30th, 2021, a routine press conference with Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian. For those unfamiliar with Zhao, he's often cited as the original wolf warrior diplomat, i.e. abrasive, irritable, and unapologetically pro-CCP. Asked how he feels about growing international criticism directed at the WHO's handling of COVID, Zhao responded claiming that China not only did everything right, but also has since won the war against COVID-19. He then informed the foreign reporters present at the conference that they too are lucky to have been in China during the pandemic, telling them that they can
你们就偷着乐吧。
secretly enjoy themselves, or low-key have a ball. Unfortunately for Mr. Zhao, over the next 3 months, Omicron made its way across the world, forcing Shanghai into extreme lockdown from April until June-ish. But honestly, it still hasn't completely ended. During this lockdown, people faced horrendous quarantine conditions, struggled to get food and water, and faced physical abuse for any sliver of dissent. Personally, I find it hard to low-key enjoy myself in a shipping container or an ATM room. Facing a level of public outrage I had yet to see in my lifetime, the Chinese government resorted to their most tried and true tactic when quelling unrest.
美国是当之无愧的全球第一抗疫失败国，
是名副其实的全球第一政治甩锅国，
全球第一疫情扩散国，全球第一政治撕裂国，全球第一。
People are pissed about the pandemic. What should we do? I know.
America, fuck yeah.
Divert attention from China's problems to America's problems. State media, CCTV, started a hashtag,
America has the largest human rights deficit in the world.
Just a few short months before, I would fully expect this hashtag's comment section to be full of nationalists celebrating China's zero COVID policy while also cheering the growing death toll in America. But things had changed. An endless stream of videos depicting Shanghai's appalling lockdown conditions dominated social media, and people were pissed. So the government's feeble attempt to distract citizens from their zero COVID nightmare only added fuel to the already raging fire. Overnight,
The U.S. has the largest human rights deficit in the world.
received over 580 million views on Weibo, China's Twitter. It attracted a level of frustration, anger, and dissent that seriously I have never seen in my life. If China's internet is like a desert where sand is propaganda and water is uncensored expression, this night was a temporary oasis. For one evening, Chinese netizens tasted the cathartic rush of unrestricted speech, standing aside their fellow countrymen and collectively raising a middle finger to their oppressors. It was dope. It's impossible to say exactly why the censors were uncharacteristically slow here. It could be because this was a government-sponsored hashtag and required approval of higher-ups before taking any action. It could also be because the hashtag blew up during a small window of time in which the night crew was done and the morning crew of censors had yet to arrive. Personally, I think it was a mix of both. But eventually, the censors came to work and the oasis dried up. All the posts were deleted, but the flame of rage had only just begun.
If they want war, we'll give them war.
Rather than lying down and giving up, netizens ran to other "America sucks" type hashtags and began using a new tactic to express their anger: sarcasm. Chinese citizens used the Communist Party rhetoric against them, quoting Zhao Lijian in lauding the joys of life in zero-COVID China. Soon, the last character in the phrase 偷着乐, or 乐, which means joy, was being censored, now automatically showing up as a box instead, which looks identical to the Chinese character for 口, or mouth. Fortunately, this character can also be used as a verb for using your mouth to exchange services with people that you really like, love, or find attractive.
Nice.
So, 偷着乐 eventually became 偷着口, meaning that you could secretly not just have a ball, but secretly exchange services with your mouth to people that you love or find attractive.
Nice.
Others took the name of that wonderful film La La Land and changed it to LeLe Land, where instead of singing through the beautiful nights of Los Angeles, the stars were shouting from their balconies for food and water. Chinese netizens were not done yet. As all phrases featuring the character Le were being censored, they pulled out another movie, Call Me By Your Name. Why this movie? Well, it seems this recent wave of censorship opened the eyes of many Chinese to the fact that problems reported by American press also exist in China, they just get censored. Thus, netizens began to use the phrase, call me by your name, to call out the CCP's whataboutism. Call me, China, by your name, America, i.e., report China's problems via America's name. You even had some internet users directly criticizing China and its government, just replacing the word China with America.
America is so shameless, only talking about others' problems and never their own.
Shameless Americans praising themselves every day while deceiving their citizens, yet still have the gall to critique others.
Pretty clever. I mean, pretty clever. Here is what I want to emphasize in this first episode of Banned Words in China. Information asymmetry is the backbone of Chinese propaganda. Whenever China has a controversy, social media is injected with reports of American problems pulled straight from American press. Xi Jinping's government has relied on this tactic heavily during the pandemic, and for the most part, it's worked. Critical thought is discouraged in the Chinese education system, allowing the government to vaccinate itself from domestic criticism via regular doses of whataboutism. But Call Me By Your Name was the first real example of masses growing immune to this tactic. Regular Chinese internet users were waking up and the government panicked. So while 偷着乐 has since resurfaced on the Chinese internet, the phrase Call Me By Your Name is completely banned, tossed into the censorship inferno alongside phrases like June 4th, Tank Man, or Xi Wei Ni. So Call Me By Your Name, rest in peace. This is the first episode of Banned Words in China. If you guys like it, please subscribe, comment below. I'm LeLe Farley, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!